J Mike. Let me try one more time. J Mike.
Jolter.
Unisport.
Uncut.
Episode number
52.
52.
52. 52.
Are we ready?
Torille.
Okay. So today, Jolter, with that super awkward intro in mind.
That was very awkward.
I know.
I love awkward intros, actually.
It's perfect. Now people are hooked thinking either they're sat there in their chair shaking from the cringe or they're super hooked to this. But today we're going to talk about why football boots vary so much in sizes.
Yeah.
Because it's a thing.
Hit me with the 10 minutes.
Okay,
In case you didn't know, at Unisport Uncut, we talk roundabouts for 10 minutes.
Yep.
English, no today.
Yo,
Talking about cringe videos.
There we go.
You know what?
There we
I'm
go.
going to save that story for later. Because today, we're going to discuss football boots.
Football boots.
Sizes.
Yes.
You know? Like, when you buy a pair of Nike boots in size 41, why is it different than your Adidas size, 41 and 1/3?
I know.
A lot of people have issues getting the right size, especially nowadays, when most of the shopping is happening online. So you actually, in many cases, you don't even get a chance to try on the boots before getting them in your hand.
Listen.
I'm listening.
It's okay, so this is one of the bigger issues that, as you say, people can have, because you don't really, there's no universal size.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily know that if you're size 40 in Nike, that doesn't mean you're size 40 in Adidas. Basically, to get the good tips out of the way, I've come down to the fact where I look at my Japanese size, because the Japanese size is always
It's the centimeters, the length.
Yes, they measure it in millimeters, so I'm a size 250 Japanese, which means my foot is 25 centimeters long. I always go for that, and then I vary. Japanese 250 is a US 7 in Nike, but it's a UK 6. That's the same, but it's that's also a UK 6 in Nike. But when you convert that UK 7 in Nike to European sizes, then it's a size Europe 40. So Nike Japan 250 is a Europe 40, US 7.
What about Puma? Because in my eyes, Puma is where the big difference comes in.
But that's the funny thing, because Japan 250 is also a size US 7, UK 6 in Puma, but it's a 39 1/3.
Exactly.
In Puma. Which means that in Nike, I'm 40. If I go 40 in Puma, it's too big.
Yeah.
Because that is in fact a US 7.5.
And honestly, that's what I experienced. Like some of the first times I wore Puma, like even taking the EvoPower when it first came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with the, let's say, I don't remember what it was back then, 40 or 40.5, and it was way too big. And I was like, man, people are gonna have issues with this, especially if they're coming from Nike, Adidas,
But the crazy thing is that then Adidas, as I just checked here, if we look at this, I'm then a UK size 6 in my Adidas boots, and albeit they are a little bit tight, so I'll probably be stuck between a size 6 and a 6.5. But 6.5 is slightly too big for me, but 6 in the Adi boots is UK 6, US 6.5, and Europe 39 1/3, Japan 245.
Wow.
It makes no sense.
That's crazy.
It makes no sense.
That's pretty crazy.
And they fit me more or less just as well as the Nike boots in size 40 do.
Damn. Yeah, I've kept an eye on the Japan sizes, which here on the Nike boot gives us 25.5 centimeters.
Yes.
255 mils. And I've always been around 250, 255. Is like, depending on how I feel and what I actually have to do with the boots, if I just have to wear them once, which happens a lot, then I might go for a little bit of a bigger size just to feel a little bit more comfortable. If I know that I'm going to play some games in them, I'm going to take one size or half a size too small and stretch them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you would actually go 40?
I'm one of those guys.
You would go 40?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. But see, that's the funny thing, because looking at the thing here, it says UK 6, US 7, 39, 25. It makes no sense. And this fits me absolutely perfectly lengthwise. The Hypervenom in 40 fits me absolutely perfect lengthwise. But then I take the Nemesis. It also fits me absolutely perfect lengthwise. I could do with a little bit more space in the room, But if I go up to 6.5 UK, which is a US 7, or a Japanese 250, or a Europe 40, it's slightly too roomy.
So the conclusion here is that honestly, it's a lot of trial and error.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
this whole thing, because you don't really know until you put it on.
No.
Especially not only because of the length.
Exactly.
But obviously, the second thing here is the width. How wide is the last or the model in general, and what is the shape of the toe box? Just before we started recording, we were discussing the
spotlight.
The spotlight. Sorry.
Yes.
And you know, I put it next to the Opus. I don't know if you guys can see, but just the shape of the toe box. You know, you can imagine your feet in this and in this. And depending on your foot shape, one of them is gonna fit you better straight out of the box.
But that's funny because you're a really wide foot, but your toe box is also very, very wide.
Yes.
So despite the spotlight being extremely wide, it's too wide for me. But the toe box is brilliant for me.
Yeah.
But it would simply be too narrow for you in the toe box, whereas the Opus, also because this has been stretched a lot, is better. It has a more wide toe box. So that's the other thing you need to take into account. Okay, so you need to nail down the length, and that's just not the easiest thing in the world. But then you also need to nail down the width. And that's where you kind of need to go in and measure your feet and really figure out where you are.
Or walk into a shop and try on different kinds of boots.
The good thing is that actually on unisportstore.com, we've actually measured all of the most popular high-end boots on the market for you. So if you go in, you measure your feet, and you can then say, okay, my foot is this long and it's this wide. Then we actually give you the right size, or as close to the right size as we can possibly get.
Man, the amount of jokes that could be made about this topic, you know. I've kept quiet all the time.
Listen, we both have rather small feet, so let's not make any jokes about this matter. But I'm just saying, the funny thing is then when you move into the Predator. Now, normally then, I was going to be a UK 6, a 39 1/3 in Adi, but then came the Predator, and that's really, really tight. So I had to move up to UK 6.5, US 7, which I would be in Nike, aka 40 in the Predator. So basically all my rules went out the window.
But that's the crazy thing. Like, it's the same thing for me. Like, if I really have to, you know, squeeze in to a very tight-fitting boot, say the Vapor, you know, I have to go up in size just to get in, you know.
But that's because of the width.
Lengthwise, there's gonna be room. But widthwise, it's actually gonna fit like a dream. So sometimes you're gonna have to compromise, and knowing your foot shape is gonna help you out a lot in the long run. So you know, knowing whether you're wide-footed, normal-footed, or you have a very slim foot is gonna help you out a lot.
Exactly.
But I would honestly say that the key advice here is to try on different boots from different brands.
Yes.
If you ever get a chance to do that, because
like
I would assume a lot of the shopping is done online nowadays.
Absolutely, but that's what you kind of need to know, that you need to know your Adidas size, you need to know your Nike size, and you need to know your Puma size. And then obviously, if you want to go into Mizuno, well, you also need to know that. But here, they make these after the Japanese sizes. So I mean, like a rule of thumb, know your Japanese size, because that will get you a long, long way.
Yes.
It varies a little bit, but
here and not much.
No.
It's definitely not as big of a difference as it is with the UK, US, EU sizes.
No,
100%.
That's very, very confusing. So I would say get to know the Japanese size, and then get to know like your standard Nike size, Adidas size, Puma size, and you've come a long way.
Yeah. Then there's a small, you know, room for error here and there.
Yes, but I mean, even if I were to get like a 40 in the Adidas boots, like a UK 6.5, as I would normally be in Adidas boots, I would be okay.
Yeah.
It's just I prefer my really snug, tight fit.
And of course, we can't forget about the people. I'm sure there's somebody watching, you know, who's buying boots that are too big simply because their feet are still growing.
Yes.
You know? Obviously, that's a special case.
That is a special case.
We know you exist.
and if you have that problem, you can actually go and check out the video I made about how to get the right size in your football boots. It's going to be in the eye if you click it right up there, because it's a big subject on how to get the right size in. But the rule of thumb here is that just make sure you kind of have your like back catalog of which size you should use. And go and try out some football boots, because this is how you really figure out which kind of fit you like and what size that will then mean. Because
for different boots.
Yes, you and I like different sizes or different fits. You might like a bit more room in the toe box. I like them really tight. You might like a bigger of a room to the side of your foot. That's all very individual. So you need to really go and figure out, what do you get?
Obviously, the good thing for you is that, well, if you just consider yourself as a Mercurial player and you're not going to touch anything else with your little finger, then you're just going to figure out what your damn Mercurial size is.
And then just go for that. But then, if you came
But unfortunately, the boot market nowadays is blasting with great models.
And that's the thing. If you want to try Mercurial, then all of a sudden you jump into Predator. You have a problem, my friend. But that is the reason you should watch Unisport Web TV. Wow. To listen to banging tunes. Oh my lord. Whoa. Oh. I don't even. Just. Speaking of being awkward, by the way.
Yo, I love awkward videos. Like, you know, I have a passion for awkward videos.
Yes.
Speaking of awkward, I think we got something done here today.
I agree with you. It was beautiful. We got something off our chest.
Yeah, man. Albeit the intro was a little bit awkward.
It was a little bit awkward. So with that said, we actually should get some feedback from the guys out there, because this is only based on our experience, our foot shapes, our boot experiences. So let us know what you see as, like, if there's some sort of golden rule for the 3 biggest brands in boot sizing out there. You should let us know in the comment section.
And tell us, what kind of struggles have you had, you know, switching between brands, and how did that affect the sizing?
Yes, exactly. Speaking of sizing, if you want to figure out how to get the right sizing, as I mentioned, you can click it up there, but it's also going to be right down here. And if you want more Insider Pro Tech Boot Nerd tips, well, you can always go and subscribe by clicking the green bubble right up there. It's just good advice. Slap a like on the video if you had a good time to make Jolta and myself happy and avoid the awkwardness. And spread the word by sharing the video with your friends. We're signing off. Cheerio.